What if I told you that the next big wave in tech isn't just understanding how to build your own AI agent? It's about embedding them in real workflows, orchestrating them with people and tools to automate processes end to end. It's about creating systems that don't just respond, but take action, make decisions, and automate entire complex workflows with human control. And the crazy thing is, you can actually build your own using just a bit of Python. Hi, I'm Pooja, a former Microsoft engineer with 7+ years of experience. And after talking with multiple big tech engineers across the industry, one thing is clear. Understanding agentic workflows is a must-have skill. It's the difference between just knowing AI and being able to deploy AI that actually does the work for you. So today, I'm going to show you how to actually build and deploy your own AI agent using Python with UiPath, and also how to create an end-to-end workflow where these agents are actually working together. It's really cool. It's surprisingly easy to get started because UiPath gives you ready-made agent templates, automation tools, and a full deployment pipeline right out of the box. First, I'll show you how one of their pre-built agents works, and then we'll build our own, and I'll even give you a sneak peek of agentic business orchestration with UiPath Maestro. So let's get into it. So before we get into building our own AI agents, I want to share something important with you first. Why do agents and agentic orchestration matter for software engineers? Well, because they're autonomous digital teammates that can basically make and act on decisions for you, which saves a lot of time as an engineer. So agents that interpret context, choose actions, call APIs, or even interact with the UI and escalate problems to humans when needed are the future of the tech industry. So these are the types of AI agents that are being used in real life today. Agents for processing invoices end to end, handling loan origination, automating patient intake and healthcare, summarizing calls and writing documentation, triggering multi-step workflows across tools, and collaborating with humans and robots in real time. And the most complex part of all of this is the agentic orchestration, which coordinates AI agents with tools, people, and other agents, ensuring they work well together. So it's a process that orchestrates which agents interact with each other and how they all work together to accomplish the same goal. So that's why I'm using UiPath as an example. UiPath isn't just about automating tasks, it's about building and orchestrating agentic processes powered by AI agents that think, decide, deterministic UI and API automations, and human-in-the-loop to deliver real process outcomes. So it's orchestration at scale, which is, by the way, why their platform was named Time's Best Invention of 2025. So it's pretty groundbreaking. Okay, so now that you know why AI agents and orchestration are important, let's get into deploying a pre-made agent ourselves. Okay, so this part of the video is one of my favorites. I'm going to show you to call out the many ways UiPath helps you get started with AI agents. So they have a bunch of templates in one of their repos. You can use that to pack it into a NuGet package, and then you can publish and deploy it to UiPath and even run it as a job. So let's get into it. So this is what the homepage looks like for UiPath, and this is our orchestrator right here. But we're actually going to go to GitHub because UiPath actually has a bunch of agents that you can use as a template or as a sample just to try it out on your own. But here I'm going to use this calculator agent, and it has all the instructions here on installation and usage. It's a very simple calculator agent, and the requirement is that you need Python 3.11, but it's pretty easy to set up. You just need to activate your environment and then run the actual agent with certain parameters. So here, of course, we're going to use two values, A and B, and then the operator is plus. So we're going to find the sum of those two values in this example. So I've gone ahead and already cloned the repo. You need to follow the instructions here in the README as well. And if you want to test it out quick, I'm just going to run the agent, and it looks like it was successful. So I added A is 10, B is 5, the operator is a plus, and our result is 15. So it looks like that works. So now we have to pack and publish it to the orchestrator. Okay, so this is all you have to do to pack it up, and it turns it into a NuGet package for you. Okay, and then when you want to publish it, you actually have to modify your .env file. So let me show you what mine looks like. So you actually add your UiPath URL, which you get from your workspace, and then you can also grab an access token there. Just remember to give it orchestrator API access. All right, so we're going to go and publish it, and there it is. There's the process for the calculator agent. Oh, and if you click into the graph Python file, you can actually see the graph nodes, edges behind this agent. So for example, we have a calculator input class. We have operator enums. These are the operators that you're allowed to use. And then we have our logic all the way at the bottom here. Again, really simple agent, but this gives you a structure to help you build your own agents. So now that we've added this calculator agent as a process in the UiPath orchestrator, we can actually just trigger the job out of it as well. So here you can see that I've created a job for the calculator agent. And if I go ahead and press start, this is how you can set that up. So I've added the calculator agent process. And then remember, you need parameters. So we'll need 2 values and then an operator. So let's just say 7, 6, and then we'll do the plus operator and we'll go ahead and start that job. Okay, so if we go ahead and click on the job, we can see the details with our inputs, and the output is 13, which is the correct number. So you can see how we just cloned this really simple calculator agent from GitHub, packed it, published it to Orchestrator, and then actually ran it as a job. And you can make your own agents as well, which is the coolest part. Okay, so now I'm going to create my own agent from scratch, very similar to the calculator agent I showed you before, but now this is something that we're building on our own. Okay, so let's just briefly look at the code. So we want to look at our graph Python file. This is where basically all the logic happens. We have an extract text from PDF. So again, if we're uploading a PDF file, we're going to then extract the text from there. These are all just extraction helper functions. And then we have a couple of really, main functions that I want to look at. Then we're going to research best practices. So this node has been created, and from load resume we go to research best practices, and then we analyze the resume, then we generate improvements, and then we finalize the output. And we've created these edges between all of these nodes down here, and this is all defined in the entry points JSON, which gets created when you run UiPath init, which is just initializing everything. And there's some other fun stuff, like we have my input. This is just like a test input. So for example, I've added my resume file path and then my target role and years of experience. And so what it'll do, it'll go to that resume path, it'll parse the text in the PDF file, and it'll use these values to generate the output. And so again, we won't go over everything, but these are the main parts. So we're going to go ahead and add this process. So when you add the process, of course, you select your package. So this is the resume fixer agent. And then you have to add the environment configuration. So for me, I added a Tevely API key, and that's the API key that helps as a research assistant. So it helps figure out how am I going to actually go through this resume and pick out what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses. And then I also used an Anthropic API key because we're using Claude 3.5 Haiku. And so that requires an API key. So I've added those 2 environment configuration variables. Just make sure that you set yours up correctly as well. And then, of course, you put your inputs. So these are your inputs, the resume text. Or you can do your file path. So in this case, before I just kind of pasted the resume text from my resume, and I can just show you the resume that I used. So this is the resume that I used, my experience at Microsoft, and then my experience at Target and Advantage Analytics. And then we don't necessarily need these 2 values because it's one of these 3 values that you need. Then I added the target role, senior engineer, and years of experience. And then if you go next and you just keep clicking through, then it should go ahead and actually add this process. So let's go to this run right here. So I ran this as a job. This is my resume text. It looks a little bit messy, but again, you can just upload the actual file itself. I just uploaded resume text because it was easier. And then I added this lead software engineer as my target role and my years of experience. So now let's look at the score. So my overall score is 85. I should be leading projects and even leading other engineers that are newer to the field. So it's very interesting to see that these are super valid weaknesses, and it's very helpful advice. And then it tells me about specific improvements and then best practices. So it also shows me my best practices. Like, again, it summarized that. I think I showed you guys before. And then this is the professional summary with sample bullet and then technical skills as well. But just remember, the most important things are populating the entry points after you initialize the agent, adding your graph file with all of the logic, adding your environment variables, and being able to just test the run locally first. Once the run works locally, then you can go ahead and pack it into a NuGet package and then actually go ahead and publish it, which, by the way, you can publish it in the CLI, or actually I tried a different way to publish it. So here, this is the UiPath folder, and then these are where your NuGet packages are. So basically you would just browse and then add this and then upload it. And so then it actually publishes your package in UiPath as well. So that's a really easy way to do it if you don't want to use the CLI tool. All right, so now let's get into the Maestro demo. Maestro is an easy way for you to transform your agentic processes end to end. You can model, design, and implement your own processes, and even connect it through your entire ecosystem by integrating UiPath agents, third-party agents, automations, and people into complex multi-system processes. An example includes the pharmaceutical prescription fulfillment flow. You can see that we don't just have one agent acting on its own, we have multiple agents that are working together to achieve a business goal. So we're going to focus on a business workflow to show you how everything works. Let's get started. First, navigate to Maestro in your dashboard. You can start creating a process from scratch or even use one of their pre-existing templates. We're going to use this business process instance. Okay, so if you want to actually execute this workflow, you can go ahead and click on debug. That will start the process for you. You can see that it's running on the right side via the output logs. And you can also download those later, by the way, if you need to manually debug through an issue. So once the execution trail pops up, you can actually visually follow the steps that are being executed in the workflow. For instance, you can see that the get request details service task finished running and moved on to the next task here. It even shows all the global variables that are being stored. So this process goes through getting request details, checking against the policy, and then if we run into an if-else, if the request details comply with policy, we follow the work to pay and send the status email. There's an entirely different work if the request doesn't comply with policy, as you can see. The next steps would be to do things like qualify missing information, and then asking the user or manager for more info. We can also go into design mode and click on individual service tasks to do things like adding an action. In this case, we're going to start and wait for an API workflow to send the status email. Let's go ahead and create the API workflow so we can actually wait for the email to send before the process completes. So we're going to rename this to sending an email. And this workflow.json will be continually updated as we add the steps to our API workflow. So first, we're going to add a connector, which we'll be using Outlook to send our emails. And you can see that there's actually a lot of different connector options, like creating a calendar event or creating an email list. In our case, all we need is the send email connector. It also needs to know who to send emails to, what the status message is going to look like, and who the email is coming from. So we're going to add a variable for the email address to send to called toAddress. We can't just hard code this value because it'll be different every time. And then we can add that input into the connector properties. Then for the subject and body of the email, it can just be a generic text like hello, and your request has been processed. So now we can go back to designer mode and add that API workflow that we just created in the send email service task. But one thing we still need to add is the toAddress. So we're going to add an argument called requester mail address, and then we'll set that as our toAddress input value. Okay, so let's go ahead and debug the process again. And great, we can see that the process ran and successfully sent an email to our requester mail address. So it's super easy to set this up on your own, and the visual designer model really makes it easy for you to debug through those processes and easily add and remove service tasks from a workflow. So if there's one takeaway from this, it's that AI agents on their own are very powerful, but the real progress happens when you actually orchestrate all of them together. When agents, deterministic automations, and humans all collaborate inside a single workflow to deliver real business outcomes. And that's what makes this shift so important. We're moving beyond scripts and single-purpose models into a world where engineers design end-to-end processes, where AI doesn't just answer questions, but it triggers actions, coordinates tasks, and adapts in real time. And platforms like UiPath are what's making it so accessible, whether you're a solo developer, a student, or even building at an enterprise scale. And if you like this video, you might want to check this one out here too. On our channel, we talk about tech and industry trends, as well as new technology that is shaping the tech industry as we know it. So go ahead and check it out. See you in the next one. So if you think of it like APIs, where you have an end-to-end flow, you have one API that does something very particular, and then another API that does something else. So that's very similar to this agentic workflow that's being orchestrated. Each agent has a very specific task, and we can't have one agent do everything all at once. It just won't work that way.